So you gotta watch, okay? Thank you for joining me for the second episode of the 4th season of Scandal. It's Renee Stanley for Movie Review Relay. God bless. How to Get Away with Murder. Okay, this is episode 2 of season 1. Okay, it was on last night. Here's the recap. There's a flashback 2.5 months. Professor Keaton lectures her class. Do you know who anyone is? And she explains that's why she never asks a client, are they guilty? Because no, you don't know who anybody is, and they could be lying, and they normally do lie. I guess that's her whole point. Okay, so she gives them the case of Max St. Vincent. Now, Max St. Vincent is a wealthy husband accused of killing his wife. This case is the centerpiece of this episode. Okay, so Mr. St. Vincent explains how he met his wife. Professor Keaton joins him at his house to go over the crime scene with her young legal eagles, you know, her students who are all working with her on these cases. And they're reviewing the crime scene with the blood-soaked bed. This is where the wife was murdered. The husband is explaining what the prosecution is saying, how the whole thing went down. He's explaining that there was a lot of blood involved. The way that the husband is explaining how the wife was murdered is chilling. It reminds you of the actor Jeremy Irons, who did a portrayal of Klaus von Bülow in the movie Reversal of Fortune. You know, it's this kind of almost a scary type, Alfred Hitchcockian, Alfred Hitchcock type villain. You know, somebody who's a quiet, sneaky guy, rich and powerful, and that sort of thing, unshakable, unflappable, if you will. Okay, so this guy is really that type. If you need a type, that's the type he is. All right. So during the St. Vincent's trial, Professor Keaton methodically goes about discrediting each witness, each of the prosecution witness, everyone, their respective testimonies. I mean, she shoots them right down. Everything that they say, she's got an answer for it. She's fabulous. Okay, so she uses her, her body language, the inflection of her voice, her good command of the English language to persuade the judge, and us too. You know, we get persuaded too when she's talking. We're like, yeah, you're good, lady. You know, Nate, that sexy police detective who was doing an interesting sex on her last week. Okay, so he's scolding Professor Keaton for making him lie under oath. He also tells her if she ever tries that again, he's going to go right to her husband and let him know, what he's been doing to his wife, to Professor Keaton, which is his lover. He's telling her, right? He's threatening her. He's saying, I'll tell your husband what we've been doing, everything. And baby, they've been doing a lot. So you really don't want him to do that. Okay. But he's kind of threatening her with that. I'm going to tell your husband if you don't, do the right thing by me. Okay. Don't do that anymore. Okay. All right, so Anna goes home. All right, she checks her husband's cell phone while he's in the shower. You know, every wife does that. Every wife worth their salt will check the husband's cell phone when he goes in the shower. It's a ritual. It's kind of a thing that we do. But anyway, she sees that the email suggests that her husband was having an affair with Lila. That's the girl that was found. Her body was found in the water tank, remember, last week. All right, so she confronts him, and they have somewhat of a heated conversation. But then he says, I had nothing to do with this young girl. She says, well, no, you've had affairs before. She lets him know that this isn't out of his character. But he assures her, no, he never touched this young girl. So we'll see how it ends up. The husband is denying it. They make up and have hugs and kisses like most husbands and wives do. The next morning, the St. Vincent's trial comes up again because someone leaked that Mr. St. Vincent has had another wife and another name, okay? So in his other life, he had another wife who he murdered, and he got off, okay? This could be good or bad. They claim they don't know who. Professor Keaton feels this could be good or bad because now she can use the double jeopardy clause. Professor Keaton allows Mr. St. Vincent to go ahead and tell the judge, yes, I did kill my first wife. I did have another name, the whole thing. But if you look at how my second wife was killed, it's in a different, complete manner. And I know what I was doing. If I was going to kill somebody, I would kill like I did the first wife, you know. And believe it or not, that convoluted type thinking works. And Mr. St. Vincent is let off. He doesn't have to worry anymore to go to jail. That, you know, not guilty. And of course, Professor Keaton is elated. You know, she's so happy. Her and her kids, I'm calling them kids, but they're college students. They're really not. Okay. But her and her legal eagles, I'll call them that. They're all jumping around like they're jumping around like they won the volleyball championship at their school. They're very, very happy. And because they won, no matter what, they won. So when Professor Keaton returns home, she checks her husband's cell phone again, okay? She's going to stop checking that cell phone if she doesn't want to get upset and find something that she doesn't want to find, okay? But anyway, so Professor Keaton returns home. She checks her husband's cell phone again, okay? And, you know, she's, like I said, she's still watching the situation. But then she doesn't worry about it for a moment. You know, she makes passionate love with her husband. Of course, she's visibly upset. She's kind of crying afterward and everything because I guess she still doesn't believe her husband and she thinks this is just so awful situation that they're in here. Nate, that sexy police detective, he reluctantly helps, says he'll help her. He'll see what he can do. So he's going to help her out. You know, evidently he has some level of affection toward her beyond just the sex, you know. All right. So, okay. So tell me if you're enjoying the series. I think it's great. The news reports that a lot of people watching it. 14 million people watched it, 20 million on DVR with some type of record, you know. So evidently a lot of people looking at it. I'm happy for the success for the show. Congrats to Peter Norwick. God bless.